Here I am in the small historic town of Aix-en-Provence in the south of France, where I will meet with author Thierry Maugenest to ask him a few questions about his new novel. Today, Thierry Maugenest discusses his novel The Strange Death of Sullivan, published in the US by the Roaring Forties Press. In the town center, we meet at the book fair, where he has kindly agreed to answer some questions of mine in English. Okay, so Thierry, can you tell me what's the intrigue of your new novel?
Story begins when an American television channel decides to transform the Jules Verne's novel Around the World in 80 Days in an ambitious TV reality show in a worldwide scale. The big challenge of the candidate is to make a world tour in 80 days, but without any money and without any luggage.
So, what can you tell me about the main protagonist? He's not really a superhero then, is he?
No, it's not at all a superhero, because the producer, this cynical producer of the show, selects the most unqualified candidate. It's a daydreaming country boy from the deserts from Arizona, with none of the attributes of an adventurer or a superhero, as you said. So, but he will succeed all the same by chance to cross the Atlantic Ocean and to reach Africa and India and Amazonian rainforest.
So this protagonist, Sullivan, he's not naturally cultured, or he's not a natural-born superhero. He comes from the deserts of Arizona, very sheltered lifestyle. What can you tell me? What happens to him during these travels?
Many things, because it's an adventure novel. Sullivan always finds himself in unusual situation. For example, he meets Buddhist monks and he will fall in love in the African desert. He experiences the last traditional fisherman in Africa, and he sees a war and play a character of Shakespeare in the Amazonian rainforest. So many things, all the novel.
So despite Sullivan Chance's voyages, his experiences traveling around the world, he's not your typical protagonist because he's killed.
Yes, he's killed, you're right. And that's the main point of my novel, because suddenly my novel becomes a murder mystery in which a mysterious narrator, the reader doesn't know anything about him. This narrator travels around the world to find the murderer of Sullivan Chance.
Sullivan Chance, he's killed, and this book is not only a adventure book, but it's also a murder mystery. It's not your typical story. So what inspired you? How did you come to write this book? What were your inspirations in writing such a dynamic?
I've traveled around the world for 10 years. I start from here in Aix, I come back in Aix, but during 10 years around the world I watched various people I met, and I wrote down many travel notes and personal comments which I could use in the novel. And at that time I already kept in mind to write a world novel.
So this novel, the setting moves a lot, the protagonist moves a lot despite him being killed, but it's more than an adventure story, no?
I hope so. It's not an adventure story, because I wouldn't have been fully satisfied with an adventure story. I wish to add some, I told before, thoughts of philosophy. I wish to add some thoughts about individual and collective pursuit of happiness, for example. And yes, it's a murder mystery, but I said before, perhaps a contemporary tale of philosophy, I think.
So, Thierry, you have inspirations from other writers, from your own travels, from philosophy, from everything. If you had to summarize this new novel of yours in 3 words, what words would you choose?
3 words is not very difficult because I would use the last 3 words of my novel. It's a happy man. Of course he's killed, but you have to read all the novel to understand why at the end it's a happy man. And I can resume all this novel with these 3 words.
Well, I'm sure everyone will be very happy reading your new novel.
I hope so.